Just need to press the go live and try and get some things done. Okay, let's see. Is this thing on? I think it is. Oh, man. Okay, let's see here. Let's continue to try our best, right? Even though some days can be a challenge. No worries. We're going to try and remain consistent, even through the face of confusing circumstances. We're going to try our best and continue to just hopefully improve and learn things, okay? So welcome travelers. Welcome to the Bible Study Devotional, BMX Flatland Learning, where we ride a 15 by 15 square foot area. And I think one of the big strengths about flatland in particular is that you can learn it in many, many areas, right? I've seen some people in very obscure countries actually now that these flatland scenes are actually starting to spring forth. You know, these countries that and cities, and they don't have they don't have a skate park, or they don't have the many street spots, or they don't have the aspect of building some dirt jumps and stuff like that. Man, somebody's already in here, huh? Welcome, traveler. Normally, this is really rare to even have anybody in here because we're about to do the very awkward Bible study. These Bible studies are very strange. I will say they are very strange and they're very kind of awkward, but it's okay because we're just trying to plant seeds of faith, right? We're trying to just plant seeds of faith for the kingdom, and I really hope that I'm not ripping seeds out of the faith, right? I'd like to hope, because that's the other weird thing that I've actually been noticing. It's one of the twins. I do not remember you, man. I apologize, man. I don't remember you, dude. Actually, I think I actually remember you in the very, very early streams. Oh, okay, yeah. I think I. Oh, yeah. I somewhat remember you, I think. You stopped by the stream. Weren't you guys like into the Bible a little bit as well? Yeah, and you were doing like the workout streams and stuff like that. You were into working out. Yeah, didn't you like follow me on YouTube and stuff? I think I remember you, man. Yeah, I remember you now. Okay, let's see here. Sounds weird. Normally people don't. It's kind of actually strange. I honestly think man, it's so weird because, like, sometimes I'm so used to, like, being in the atmosphere of, like, a skate park or something like that. And what's weird, the other weird thing is that there's only 2 other Flatlanders in the state that I'm in. It sounds a little ridiculous, but sometimes Flatland, to be honest, like, Flatland is kind of more of the obscure riding at times. It seems like some people, there's not many Flatlanders at times, unless you go to like Southern California or something like that. There's a bunch of them over there. Other parts of the country as well. But, yeah, so I feel like what's been weird is, like, I honestly think these streams have been helping me keep motivated to even continue to progress, right? Because I think what's interesting to think about is, like, in the skate park atmosphere, right? There's, like, people pumping you up. They're, like, like pumping you up, like, oh, dude, you should try this. And there's just like that energy and like that, the energy of like camaraderie, right? And I think what's interesting about like the stream is actually the stream kind of has helped me get into that sense of, I guess, trying, right? Because I actually did notice, it's actually weird once you start noticing. I think that's one thing, and once you start streaming a bit, is that you can start noticing patterns that you start doing in your life, right? And one big thing I noticed when I was streaming is that I would just spend a lot of time on my phone, right? Like, I'd just be like, before I started streaming, I would just like be on this endless scroll, and I just get sucked in sometimes. And like, when I was even riding, right? And I still do it even now, but I do it a lot less. So anyway, we're going to get into a verse today. Let's see here. We're actually going to get into what verse we're looking at. Something about dancing. Just something about morning into dancing. Let's type that in, okay? We're typing in morning into dancing. Morning into dancing. What is this gonna say? Let's see here. What, I know it's a psalm. Which psalm is it? Okay, it's Psalms 30:11. That is the one we're going into, right? What's been weird is there's been many anxieties springing up, actually. Not in many different. And you know what's weird about anxieties? Sometimes like they spring up as these little thoughts sometimes, right? And sometimes you don't really suspect some things, and then like the anxieties start growing and growing and growing, and suddenly you start realizing that sometimes they can be a hindrance on your mind and even just start affecting other things in your life and stuff like that. So getting deeper into it, I was going to go into I was thinking about doing the thing about anxiety in Matthew, but we actually did it. I think we did a Bible study 2 times on that one. So I was like, I should try and do something a little bit different, right? So we're going into Psalms 30:11, okay? Let's read the KJV first. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness. That's the KJV. What does the ESV say? ESV says, you have turned for me my mourning into dancing. You have loosed my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness. See, it's interesting thinking about just the mourning into dancing, right? Now, before I get into like reading a commentary, sometimes I've been enjoying thinking about the verse. And it's actually interesting thinking about this, right? Sometimes I actually ponder what other believers think about when, say, they haven't heard a sermon on it or they haven't read a bunch of commentaries on it, and just taking a person and seeing, just saying a verse, right? And just letting them read that and just see what they think of it without having to look at other things, right? Because sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but sometimes what I also have actually started to notice is I actually do somewhat notice that certain pastors and stuff, I can start seeing how they'll say something and then it kind of almost has like this trickle down effect, or I'll hear other pastors bring up the exact same thing that they said, even though we kind of do that with the scriptures, but in the sense of that's what some pastors have even said, and I hear it again. And I'm not saying that's bad, but you know, sometimes it's a bit interesting to kind of even think what some believers think about a verse without having maybe a relay of other things already kind of filtered through their mind, right? Which I've actually done a Bible study on this one, so. But to be honest, I'll be really honest, I kind of forgotten about it with the, Psalms 30:11 about turning mourning into dancing, right? I mean, I'd like to think when I read this, right, thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. It's almost like I think about action, right? I think about, when I read this verse, I think about sadness, right? Like sadness and then action and then it sounds kind of, obvious, but sometimes I even think about like just moving, right? So like say, and here's the weird thing, right? The weird thing is I'm wondering, like, do you think sometimes like anxieties can bleed into other emotions, right? Like can anxiety, like what, because I have heard other people bring this up where they say some emotions can actually bleed into other emotions, right? Like there's that one, I did hear somebody say that sometimes sadness can turn into anger, or anger can turn into sadness and vice versa and stuff like that. But I'm actually wondering, are there any other pivot points that can happen? Like, do you think maybe anxieties can turn into other emotions, right? Can anxieties turn into anger? Can anxieties turn into frustrations and stuff like that, right? And does this all have some sort of weird play about it, right? And then what's also weird thinking about it is that thinking about, sometimes like things don't just all happen to you at once, right? It's not like this big like thing that just happens to you. Sometimes it's these subtle things, right? It's like almost like the aspect of thinking about, the phrase of the straw that broke the camel's back, right? So it's just kind of like, it's like, these little things like that keep happening, and then just like if you can just imagine that just one piece of straw boom. Like, I don't think it would literally break a camel's back, but like, it's all these little things all compiled together that form some of that can bleed into emotions. And I think that's a very interesting aspect of going about life. And sometimes I wonder if just full on just trying to progress. I mean, I'd like to think. I mean, I'd like to think that people could somehow progress better if they didn't have that sort of like load on them in terms of like anxiety, depression, anger, sadness, coveting, being envious. I'd like to think if those things were dampened in people's lives, that maybe they would, be able to expend their energy a little bit more zealously and more joyfully, right? Without having to almost be weighed down by certain burdens at times, right? And I think, to be completely honest, I do think that the Word of God has really done that for me personally. Like I said in many streams, there was a time when I was younger and I did get in trouble with like the law and stuff, and I had to go on like this probation thing and all this stuff, right? And then I had to go to like counseling and then like this other stuff like that, right? And like these therapists or something like that, right? And what was weird about this therapist, right, is that they were just like, they literally had a bookshelf, right? And they had this giant bookshelf. The Bible wasn't even on there, right? They'd be like, okay, you're going to get this book out and just go over there, grab that book and start reading it. I'm like, all right, And it's like, it's weird because I had to do that for so many years. And it's strange because I look back on that experience and I go, I don't remember a single one of those books. I laugh at it now, but it's like, these people that like said that these things are going to heal me, right? Like all these things are like, all this does important. I look back and I'm like, dude, I don't even remember. I literally don't even like remember a single sentence of what some of those books said. And I think it goes in the aspect of what David brings up. And it's kind of funny because David wrote Psalms 30:11, right? But I think about meditating, right? Let's go into Psalm. What does Psalms 1 say? Psalms 1 says, David says like he meditates on the word day and night, right? Let's see here. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He's like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and all that he does he prospers, right? I think what's interesting about Scripture is that there's this aspect of I'm able to actually read these scriptures over and over and over again, right? There's almost like something to be, I feel like, and I'm wondering if it actually has something to do with just how the Bible is written, right? Because I don't know if most other people get taught to write in verses, right? How like how in the Bible, it's like, there's the number and then it goes in, it's almost like one sentence and then it's like the next verse, right? And then they number it out. I'm wondering like why is the Bible even written like that? Now I even think about it, right? It's like, why is it, to my own, I feel like with me personally, I think just like the verses kind of trip me out. It makes me think of like combos, right? Like even in the BMX section, right? And maybe there's another thing. I meet skaters, I meet like BMX riders, and they're like about the word and about the Lord and stuff. And it's kind of is a little bit interesting, right? And I'm wondering if it has some sort of aspect of just the whole combo aspect. And I know people don't normally call them combos, but if you start listening to a bunch of sermons, you'll start hearing that these pastors are just basically comboing. They're like combo, and they're just like comboing verses together, right? And once I started realizing that, I was like, that's very, very strange, right? It's like, it's not like a normal, because like I feel like most other books you can kind of do that, but it's not as like I don't know, there's just something about it. It's not as engaging to me for some reason. It's like most other books, quite frankly, are just kind of boring to me, honestly. And the thing is that it's like weird that like you can like find these combos, and sometimes I even think like how it is split up in verses, it helps for me to remember, because I'd like to. I think sometimes that I don't even have the greatest of memories, right? Like sometimes like I have to read something over and over and over before it really starts to sink in my mind. And it also makes me think, like, all those books that I had to read and stuff it's like, I honestly feel like some of those things, like, I just, so much stuff just goes in one ear and out the other for me. I don't know about most other people, but I'll be completely honest. I feel like I think most things actually for me, in some degree, I feel like goes in one ear and out the other in terms of, like, maybe things that I'm not very interested in or something like that. And it's like weird. It's like strange thinking about it. And it's strange thinking about, like, if there are people that could just, like, read something one time and then just be like, I fully remember it, and they don't even have to look at it again, right? Because for me, it seems like I have to continue to just keep, trying to, like, look deeper into it and keep reading it and reading it. And it kind of just makes me think about David, right? It makes me think about, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night, right? And I think it's like thinking deeper into the word, right? Because there's also the proverb. It's actually strange. I didn't really think I was even going to be able to combo anything out today, honestly. But we're going with it, right? Sometimes it's just strange. And what's weird is, like, I feel after doing all these like Bible study things, I honestly feel like what's also weird, and I've actually had some critique. Someone said that I should try and slow down my speech, right? Especially, it was like kind of in the middle, maybe like 100 streams ago or something like that, right? Maybe 150 streams ago or something. But there was this guy, and he said that I should try and slow down my speech, right? Because sometimes I just end up going like, and I just, like, I don't, he said something about my periods, where I don't stop at the periods. And I go, man, you know what? You're the only person that's ever said that to me. Like, I literally have done like 200, 300 streams or something, like maybe like 200 streams, and not a single person has said that to me. And once he said that to me, I was like, huh, that's very, very interesting, right? I never took that into consideration. I'm actually kind of glad that he did say that. And then that whole thought kind of got me into thinking about just doing these streams and about just vocalizing, right? Like, vocalizing what we read. It's so much, it doesn't seem like it's that much different, right? But it is. That's the weird thing. Because before I did this, I never really used to speak with my words as much as I do, like, especially when I'm reading, right? And what's weird is that when I read something in my own internal monologue without vocalizing it, I just read really fast. I'm just like, it's like, like, and what's funny is when I started reading out loud, it's almost like that very same internal monologue was being presented of how I even vocalize. And it's actually just so strange to think about, right? And it's so weird because within vocalizing what we read, I've been, like, noticing that there's a different aspect of just like emphasis you can put on words. Like, you can make words just sound like, ugh, like, just like, you can make words sound like super rough or just, calming and just, just smooth. And it's just like that whole aspect. I was like, wow, it's so weird. And it's so strange because since vocalizing what I've been reading, it's actually been making me slow down a lot more. And what's weird is since I'm slowing down a lot more about how I'm kind of going about things in terms of reading, it actually opened up when I'm vocalizing and slowing down. It opens up these new combos because I actually start thinking. Because sometimes when I go, and just start, sometimes I can't think of the combos of other things. It's just, all I'm doing is just going, up, down, up, down, right? It's like, and I don't think about these other combos, and it's just odd. I don't even know what I'm really talking about right now. I don't even know if it even makes sense, but that's the weird thing about words, right? We're going to go into a proverb, though. Let's see here. There's something about, like, he who gives thought to the word will discover good, right? Where can I find it without Googling it? I know I have it underlined in here somewhere. Okay, here we go. It's Proverbs 16, verse 20. Whoever gives thought to the word will discover good, and blessed is he who trusts in the Lord. Not interesting, right? this is what's interesting too is this one's underneath it. The wise of heart is called discerning, and sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. It's interesting that we're called to be wise, and we're also called to somehow be persuasive with our speech, right? It's interesting. Anyway, what are we getting into? I somehow got into this big long. I don't even know how I got into all these other things. Oh well. Let's start. Let's look up a commentary on Psalms 30:11. Right. Let's read it again. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness. Okay. Before I get into the commentaries or looking up a commentary, sometimes this also makes me think of just. I think, honestly, looking back, sometimes I wonder if I got into some of the trouble that I did get into because I had just so much energy that I just, didn't expend this energy. Because I honestly feel like I wouldn't have gotten in trouble with some of the things I got in trouble with if I just expended all that energy. I mean, I don't know, sometimes, and I'm wondering, do you think that energy, in terms of maybe not being expended and used, can that somehow build up and build up and build up, kind of like the straw on the camel's back, and that energy just gets built up so much to where that bleeds into your emotions? Sometimes I wonder if this is what's going on in a lot of our society because I don't know, this is my own, I have heard other people bring this up, so I don't really know if this is a fact or not, but I have heard that, because of modern technology and where our society is going, that we've actually started to become more of a sedentary society, where it's like we've become more sedentary. And sometimes I wonder, in the aspect of that, do you think energy built up storage is now overflowing in some people, and now it's bleeding into their emotions with them out even knowing it is bleeding into their emotions? And maybe causing, depression, anger issues and sadness issues and maybe anxiety issues or something like that. And because I honestly feel like it's weird because there's so many thoughts when I think of these even these verses. I mean, it probably doesn't seem that many thoughts, right? But sometimes I even think about when I just even physical exertion, right? Sometimes I feel like when I just go out and ride, right? Just ride, use up my body. I do feel like certain things that would maybe set me off or get me frustrated or get me upset or potentially get me sad or some things of that nature, right? It doesn't maybe hit me as much because, say, if I just exerted all my energy riding or dancing or something, or just using up my body, sometimes I feel like I get so drained that it's just I don't even want to put energy into thinking about being in anxiety or depression or something like that, right? This probably makes no sense at all, huh? Sorry, I apologize, everybody. This probably makes no sense, but I'm trying to verbalize something here. So hopefully it's doing something. We're going to look up a commentary, okay, on this. I'm wondering what some commentaries are going to say. Let's look up Psalms 30:11 commentary, okay? Psalm 30:11 commentary. Okay, let's see. This is the first thing that comes up. When we see his face in mourning and suffering and sorrow and sin and death are no more, and everything is new, we are satisfied in him. There are no more tears in our eyes when we are clothed with gladness. Clothed with gladness. What does gladness mean? Is that just joyfulness? Gladness. It's like thankfulness and joyfulness put together. Let's just look up gladfulness meaning. Definition. The quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. No, wait, that's mindfulness. Oops. Sorry, that's not it. I put in gladfulness, and for some odd reason, it auto-corrected into mindfulness. So that is not actually the definition. Let's see here. Gladfulness. Definition. Definition of gladfulness. Experiencing joy and pleasure. Gladness, gladsome, happiness, emotions, experienced in the state of well-being. Isn't joy a fruit of the Spirit? I'm pretty sure joyfulness is a fruit of the Spirit, right? Fruit of the Spirit. This is something I actually need to get down. Okay, so the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. So joy is in there, right? Huh. Joy. Joy, 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 joy. I feel like that one always gets kind of overlooked a little bit, right? I mean, what is even the definition of joy? I mean, to me personally, I think joyfulness is like, before I look up the definition, when I think about joy, I think about like, I think it's even a little, to me personally, I think it's a little bit different than just happy. For me personally, I think joy is almost like happiness and enthusiasm and just energy kind of put together, but I'm probably wrong. But that, when I think about that word, that's what I think about. Okay, so let's look up the joy definition. See what it brings up. It just says a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Rejoice. Let's see. The original meaning of joy from Middle English joy, borrowed from Old French, mistaken to be glad or rejoice. Happiness. Evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing of what one desires. Delight, expression, exhibition of such emotion. Gately. A state of happy or felicity. A source or cause of delight. What is the meaning of joy in the Bible? Biblical joy is choosing to respond to external circumstances in inner contentment and satisfaction, because we know that God will use these experiences to accomplish His work through our lives. Huh, that's very interesting, right? Huh. See, now that's very interesting, right? It's so interesting when we look up the definition of joy in like the normal dictionary, and it's just sometimes it's just so plain. And then look, we look up this on Christianity.com. It says, "What is joy in Christianity?" What is joy in Christianity? It is a natural human inclination to think that living through trials and negative circumstances would not be an occasion for joy. Choosing to respond to life's difficulty to life's difficult situations with inner contentment and satisfaction doesn't seem to make sense. Joy is a choice, but the Lord is the originator of true joy. Oh wow, this is actually a big commentary. Let's actually read it. Now I'm actually intrigued. James tells us to consider it pure joy when we face trials of many kinds. See, that's what's weird about James when he says that, right? James literally goes, consider it pure joy when you experience trials, right? And to me personally, I think trials, I know there is the trials of bikes. We're not talking about that. I mean, maybe, I guess that is really, really hard. Maybe that's why they call it trials riding, which I kind of forgot about that. Maybe I should maybe get into that. You know what? Maybe we should get into that. Maybe we should get into deeper lore of trials riding. But anyway, just the thing of trials. You think of the word trials, right? It's like these almost like big. Let's actually just look up the definition. Sometimes I think of just like these big burdens or something, or just difficult situations, right? Trials definition. What does that mean? A test of the performance qualities suitable or someone or something. A formal examination evidence before a judge. A test. Huh. Something, especially a new product, to assess its suitability or performance. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, what does trials mean? Definition Bible. Let's see what that brings up. Purpose of trials may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. The trials in our lives test our faith. They prove the genuineness of our faith, which is more precious than gold that perishes. Wow. Experience suffering that puts strength, patience of faith to the test. afflictions or temptations that exercise or prove the grace of virtues of men. That is the KJV definition. Now, see, that is kind of more, to be honest, I feel like that definition right there should be the main definition that you look up when you look up trials, but that's a Bible definition, right? Now that's actually strange thinking about just word definitions and how some people take them differently than others, right? But yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird when James tells us to consider it pure joy. Like, is it now? We just looked up the definition of the word joy, right? And I almost feel like that's such an opposite thing. Like, if you were to ask somebody, right, you're going to go through some difficult situations, and you just got to try and be happy about it. I think most people would just think you're crazy, right? They'd be like, "What in the world, bro? Like, what are you even talking about?" But I feel like maybe there's something to be learned in that, right? To almost like instead of like having it weigh you down, maybe to even like go through it, if you can, with some joyfulness, maybe it'll make it easier to get through, or something, right? Okay, let's keep going with this commentary. But what is joy? Do we have a definition for joy? And what in the world would James possibly have meant? After all, tribulations seem like anything but joyous occasions. That's true, huh? What is joy in the Bible? There is a familiar verse in James 1:2 that humanly doesn't seem to make much sense. That's exactly what I said. That's kind of what I said right there, huh? That's funny. In this very practical New Testament letter, James begins his important teaching about facing trials by writing this: "Brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials." It's probably true that most readers may hear that verse and respond by asking a salient follow-up question: how can that possibly be true? James' teaching doesn't quite make sense. How is it possible to have joy when we experience life's various trials? The process of learning to respond with joy during times of trials in life must begin with conscious awareness that God is at work in our lives, and that He has a tangible purpose for why we may be experiencing these trials. In other words, if we have put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ as our own personal Savior, Romans 10:9, and if we believe that His Word teaches us that God is at work in our lives, Philippians 2:13, then we will come to the logical conclusion that trials, suffering, and difficult times in our lives are ultimately designed by God, and that He has a specific purpose for us in mind. The Bible makes this point in the same passage. Look again at James 1:2. But let's add verse 3. "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience." The text is clear. We can respond to life's trials with genuine joy if we know that the Lord has a purpose for why we would allow those difficult times of suffering and trials. In this passage, the purpose for trials was to produce patience or endurance, the ability to hold up under a trial in our lives. Knowing that our loving Heavenly Father is doing something specific in our lives and that He is doing what is best for us helps us respond with genuine joy. I guess that's the other aspect, right? That's the other strange thing about the faith, right? Because sometimes I feel, when trials do come, I think if I wasn't in the faith, just thinking back when I wasn't really even into believing even a sliver in some degree, right? I would respond to trials with either anger, frustration, sadness. I would probably just explode and I'd just be like, and I would not even, and that's the aspect is now it's strange, like looking back and almost like, I don't know, it's strange, right? It's very interesting. Let's continue with this commentary. Life's trials are certainly not fun, but we can react to those painful situations with joy if we understand that God is demonstrating His love for us through those circumstances. Romans 15:13 says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope." So God can fill us with joy. But do we have a proper understanding and definition for the gift of joy? Let's define it below. Interesting. So it's kind of interesting reading this commentary. I actually didn't think I was even going to get into it, right? It's so strange how, like, I honestly find it very fun when I just go in there and I just go in cold, and it's like, I don't even know what we're going to get into. Well, sometimes I'll do, like, a random Bible verse generator thing, and sometimes I do it, like, before the stream just so I'm not sitting there just be like, oh, well, let's do this verse or something. It's kind of interesting what... It feels like we're, like, searching, and I like that, right? Because there's that proverb saying, like, it's the glory of... it's something about concealing things. I can't believe I can't remember it. I just wrote it. It's on a macro I have. It's something about God conceals things, but it's the glory of kings to search things out, or something like that. And sometimes I like that. I like thinking about, like, searching. You know, like we're digging and we're just trying to find some seeds that aren't chaff, right? That we can maybe remember. But I think what's also an interesting thing to observe, especially going through and observing other believers' lives, is observing how some believers can face, man, I've observed some believers facing some, especially when I was, like, living out in my car in Long Beach, just, like, ridiculous, like back-breakingly burdensome trials that I think most people, I honestly think if they weren't in the faith, they would have, like not been able to handle it, like maybe even to the point of, like, taking their own lives or stuff. And I take that with a big grain of salt. I don't know, I just feel like the faith has strengthened so much of these people's lives to the point where they were able to get through very, very, very dark situations in their lives of various degrees, right? I guess it depends on your own subjectiveness of what a dark time for you is. But I think that is also interesting to think. And sometimes it's actually interesting to think that is when people actually find the faith. It's actually interesting to even think about that, and thinking about the aspect of sometimes those really, 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 really dark moments is actually when people, yet maybe they didn't even believe in God, that's when they actually want to, like, pray to God, right? And it's very interesting, huh? That's interesting. Okay, back to the commentary. What is the definition of real joy? Let's go back to the beginning and identify a working definition of joy. Simply put, biblical joy is choosing to respond to external circumstances with inner contentment and satisfaction, because we know that God will use these experiences to accomplish his work in and through our lives. James is telling his readers that they can choose to respond with joy, even during times of trials and sufferings. Joy is a choice, but it does come from the Lord, and he alone is the originator of true joy. We don't have to produce it or drum it up in our own. What does the Bible teach us about joy? God himself is the source of our joy. Galatians 5:22-23 gives us a list of the fruits of the Spirit, and joy is listed there as one of the byproducts of the Holy Spirit living and abiding in us. This chapter in Galatians tells us that it is possible to live in the Spirit and walk in the Spirit. Galatians 5:16 and 20. I'm not gonna lie, I love the word Spirit. Just Spirit. It's just such a cool word. Meaning that he will naturally produce this fruit in our lives as we live for him. God alone can produce true joy, and he does that naturally through his Spirit living in those who have put their trust in him. It's important for us to understand that only God himself can give us the ability to respond to life's difficult circumstances with the inner contentment and satisfaction. Man, this is a long commentary. Man, I thought that I was just going to read, like, a little commentary and we're going to be done with it. I thought we were going to get into writing, right? This ended up being really, really long. Oh, people said something. God bless, bro. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're doing these awkward Bible studies. I think they're awkward, but we're going to try and go for it. It honestly gets me to do it, to be honest. I feel like when I don't do these Bible studies, I kind of just like, just like, I'm going to be flat out honest. I feel like if I already know what I was like before I started committing and devoting to doing these Bible studies, is that, like, I would, like, just kind of, like, read some verses and I just kind of, like, just go about things, But I, like, now we're, like, it's getting deep. Or, like, I just, like, I wouldn't really, like, search. I just kind of, like, read the verse and go, okay, I did enough, and I just go about my day, right? But now it's like we're digging, we're searching, we're trying to search, and we're finding so much lore, dude. It's just like lore. The lore seems endless, honestly. And there's more lore being created. Okay, let's see here. We can choose to respond to life's trials with joy when we consider God's purpose for those times of suffering. It's true that only God can supply true joy. However, there is a key technique in James 1:2 to help us. Once again, this verse says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials." Notice the word count. Some other English versions of the Bible translate it consider. It's a word that means to systematically scrutinize or to examine, as in taking an exam. Huh. See, that's also what's strange. Even just reading that paragraph right there, right? You know when I just brought up like when I wasn't a believer, when I wasn't really fully, really even looking into God and how He goes about things, right? And just like what I would probably respond to certain situations. But it's like it's weird when we respond to situations through the filter of God's word, right? And that is, I guess that goes into the aspect of building our foundation upon the rock, right? About building our foundation upon the rock. And what does Jesus say? He says, the winds and the rain. Is it the winds and the rain, or was it just the wind? I think it's the winds and the rain. Sorry, I'm butchering this Bible. It's a parable, but it's the parable of the rock, right? And Jesus, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, the Lord Jesus Christ says something like that we are to build our lives on the rock, and the rock is His word, and like the winds and the waves like beat upon this house, but yet it stood firm because it was built upon the rock, right? And so it's kind of interesting. Sometimes I wonder if it's like almost obtaining this new filter, this new lens that we see life through, that ultimately just gives us strength and fortitude and resilience. So when bad things do happen to us, it's just like we can endure it without, going overboard to the point of, doing things that could potentially not be good, right? Anyway, where am I? The idea here is that the believer should thoroughly list potential advantages of his situation to gain a better understanding of what God may want to accomplish. A simple illustration of this truth would be a child counting the change in their piggy bank and then realizing they have more money than they thought. The old chorus, "Count Your Blessings" by John Oatman Jr. makes the same point. Count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. When we truly count or consider what God is doing, we will conclude that indeed our response should be one of joy. It is possible to have joy in the fullest even during life's most difficult times. It's almost important to note the simple word all in James 1:2. The writer used it to describe the kind of joy that can only come from God Himself. It is a word that means completely or wholly. Not holy as in Holy, WHOLLY. This is not just some joy. We can experience all joy or joy to the fullest or the most complete joy. The Apostle Peter also writes about this kind of joy even in the midst of various trials. In this you greatly rejoice through now for a little while, if need be. You have grieved by various trials. He teaches us that we can greatly rejoice. This is an overflowing exuberance, filled, lively joy that is exactly the kind of joy that God's people can experience when faced with a variety of trials or difficult times. God provides that abundant and complete joy. It is a natural human inclination to think that living through trials and negative circumstances would be an occasion for joy. Choosing to respond to life's difficult situations with inner contentment and satisfaction doesn't seem to make sense. Yet the believer can experience genuine joy to the fullest by taking the initiative to actively consider all that God is doing and that he has a definitive purpose in mind for his people. Joy doesn't mean forcing happiness during sad circumstances. We can usually tell when someone tries to fake it until they make it. But joy comes during every season. It is an outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Joy comes from our choices to choose joy. Wow. Man, isn't that so gnarly? We literally I was like, it was so strange, because you know why I looked that word up? Because I was like, because you know when pastors bring up like the fruits of the Spirit, now I look back, I never really even like, I mean, I know you could look it up. I'm pretty sure if you just looked up joy sermon on YouTube right now, there'd be a bunch of sermons that come up. But to me personally, all the sermons that I have listened to over the years, I don't particularly remember any like pastor really going into the word joy and what it really meant, right? Because I was just like, oh, it's just happiness, right? And it's like, but you know, like that's it. It's like, but it's like, man, just like going into it, it's like, whoa, dude, that like opened up into a whole like spew of other things, right? We haven't even went into Psalms 30:11 commentary. Let's just read. I'm going to see if I can just find like a little commentary for Psalms 30:11. Psalms 30:11 commentary. It's so strange that all of this stuff has sprung from this verse right here. It's so gnarly. Okay, we're going to read just Ellicott's commentary. It's a like couple sentences, okay? Thou hast turned for me. This verse means the answer to the prayer. Mourning is literally beating the breast, and therefore dancing forms a proper parallelism. Or else, according to one derivation, the word mokchol would suggest piping. Okay, wait, we need to read another one. That one I don't know about. Okay, let's read Benson commentary. Thou hast turned for me. Having related his prayer, he now declares the gracious answer which God gave him. Thou hast put off my sackcloth. Hast given me occasion to put it off, alluding to the sackcloth which they used to wear in times of mourning, and with which possibly in a humble compliance with the divine providence. David had clothed himself in his distress, or perhaps he speaks figuratively, and only means that God had taken away his sorrow with the causes of it, and girded me with gladness, either with garments of gladness or rejoicing with joy as with a garment. Man, it's almost interesting thinking about it that way, right? He like, cause I like how what that, see, I didn't think about the verse like that, right? Because this guy is like saying we are to clothe ourselves with joy and to rejoice. It's such a, you know, because I kind of put it in the lens filter aspect, but it's actually interesting thinking about like clothing ourselves with it. We need to like put it on. It's like it's very interesting, right? Psalms 18:32. For a similar reason, he said to be girded with strength. I feel like none of these guys are like going into the dancing part, right? Because when I see, that's the weird thing. When I personally read Psalms 30:11 about he turned my mourning into dancing, I think about moving, I think about action, I think about just moving your body, I think about expending energy. It honestly seems like none of these guys are really even going into it, right? That's very. I mean, they go into a lot of the other stuff, right? Like, I understand they go into a lot, like the sorrow and stuff like that. So, very interesting. Think about it. We could go into it again another day. There's actually a lot of commentaries on this. Man, I should have just looked up this verse, and we should have just read the commentaries on it, but somehow we got into joy. I guess it relates, right? It is somewhat correlated with it, and maybe this could be another one for another day as well. But actually, just like reviewing some of these, it seems none of them really went into the aspect of the mourning ceased and a joyful ceremonial was instituted, of which dancing was as so often form a part. Ceremony. Intriguing. Anyway, I guess that was a Bible study. I don't want to like bring it. Oh, somebody said something. Sorry, I don't have like a big computer up in here to see your guys' chat. I literally have to go behind the. This is actually another reason why I sit behind here, because I would not have seen the verse or what you guys are saying. Let's see. I try to read the Bible verse of the day in the Bible app every morning with my daughters, or at least by myself. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've heard some people bring that up, right? See, what I do is I have this. Anybody can do it. It's not like you have to buy it or anything, but it's called dailyverses.net. And generally, what I try to do is that, like, first thing when I wake up, right? Like, the first thing I do is I just go boop, and I just open this up and I just see what verses come up. And sometimes it's just interesting, right? Sometimes it's just interesting to just like see just random verses. And I know the other thing is we also have to be careful, because sometimes you can take them out of context, right? But the thing about it is that this is another reason why we go deeper into like the commentaries and all this stuff, because there's just so much lore. It's so gnarly to think. Like, you could probably type in any verse. I'm maybe not any verse, but like you could probably type in most verses and just put in commentary at the end of it. And there's just so many commentaries, like so many sermons people have brought up, and then just seeing the combos and seeing why some pastors know some combos, and that's actually what's really interesting, is when you bring up verses to like some believers, and then they think, oh, well, that verse reminds me of that verse and that one, and I go, oh, well, that one kind of I found a different combo over here, right? And I'm wondering if that's like maybe one of the almost like never-ending aspects, maybe not never-ending, but just the aspect of God's word, that we can always like eat upon it. We can always. There was something there. I remember reading some definition of some word in the Bible saying we are to almost like eat God's word. We are to like. I mean, I guess that's why they consider it like the bread, right? Like, we are to like take a little bit of, we're trying to eat the bread. And supposedly, they even call it the bread of life, right? So it's interesting. Man, there's just so much lore that goes into it, right? Anyway, ultimately, we're just trying to plant some seeds of faith. So these Bible studies get so gnarly, man. They're gnarly. Like, it's weird. I'm wondering like what other people think about it, especially how I'm going about doing it, right? But I mean, I honestly find it fulfilling, because there's always just something to think about. It's always just something, it's like and for some reason it's like I get bored with a lot of things, right? That's the other aspect. I get bored with a lot of things, right? For some reason, we're just still in it. Honestly, I think that's just a testament right there. It's just how long the word has been going on, man. It's still going on, dude. Like, it's still changing people's lives, right? It's just like, does that not blow everybody's? I mean, that blows my mind even now, just thinking about it. I'm like, dang, man, it's like, it's so powerful. Like, it is literally like, oh, it's like a program. It's like weird. That's what some believers have told me. A lot of believers, and here's the weird thing. Take this with a very big grain of salt. A lot of believers, I've noticed this actually. I mean, maybe not a lot of believers, but more than most things that I've seen believers bring up in terms of like media. But I always hear some believers that go, hey, you know that movie, The Matrix? I'm like, yeah, I know that movie. They're like, dude, that's what the Bible's kind of like, man. You're in the Matrix, and then you get like unplugged or something like that, right? And it's just like, it's so funny. Like, some believers are so into that movie, The Matrix. It's like, have you guys met believers like that? Because like, man, I've met my fair share of believers that are like that, and like, even just hearing them, they even still pop up even now. Like, even I probably saw one a couple weeks ago. Like, it popped up on YouTube. It had like, I was like, man, you guys are still talking about The Matrix, huh? Like, it's kind of funny. Anyway, oh, went by almost to an hour, right? Something about The Matrix, yeah. I don't really even know. I mean, I know they bring it up a lot. I think it's because of the whole unplugging thing or something, but I'm wondering if it has some aspect too about the pills, right? You take this pill, or you take that pill, right? It's like, what are you gonna? No idea, right? But ultimately, what does Jesus say? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall what? Shall set you free. Right, so. Man, there's just so much lore into it, man. There's so many combos. The combos are endless, I think. Because the combos, I feel, are endless because it goes into people's lives. It goes into your own experiences, your own past experiences, what you're going through at the moment. Very interesting, man. Okay. Let's see what we draw today. What are we going to draw today? I'm going to cut it again just because I want to make sure it's a good cut. Okay, let's see here. What are we going to draw today? Let's cut it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can. What we will draw. Let me put this on my Insta. Okay, let's see here. Welcome, travelers. Welcome to the card draw of the day. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole card reveal of the hand, but we can do a single card and see some artwork, right? And help promote these guys out. Oh, okay. We got looks like we drew a plains today. That is a cool plains, huh? Very interesting. Intrigue. Who did this one? Greg Staples. Dude, this dude has done so many lands. When did he do this one? 2004. Wow. Yeah, that one's cool, huh? The Humble Plains. With, like, eagles at the top. Farewell, everybody. I hope you guys are doing good. Try your best and have fun. There we go. Plains is cool. Light up on here. Okay, so the first card we drew today was this card, the Plains. Second card, ooh, Angel of Vitality. I like the word vitality. I really like that word. Angel of Vitality. Did we use that word today? I don't know if we did. I mean, ultimately, I think that's what... I like the word vitality a lot. Okay. Elspeth Tyrell? Interesting. Intriguing. I drew Elspeth, huh? Oh, dude, look at this. I can't believe we drew it. Look, we drew Hollowed Ground. Now, see, this is the strange card. This is, for me personally, is the only card in MTG that I found with a cross on it. It has a distinct cross on it. Like, does that not... Maybe that's not a cross. Maybe, but when I look at that, that full-on looks like a cross. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not a cross, but that full-on looks like a cross to me. Like, what do you guys think? Is that a cross or is that not a cross? Because that, to me personally, that looks like a cross. And it's called Hollowed Ground, so... But yeah, that's why I have this card in here. And sometimes it's just very interesting when I do see crosses and stuff like this. You know what this also reminds me of? Just seeing this right here, this little cross, well, I think it's a cross, is that I know some people have said, I've heard some believers say, oh, well, you shouldn't be wearing crosses. You know, that person doesn't even believe and they're wearing a cross. Like, they shouldn't be doing that. Now, here's the thing, right? Sometimes I wonder, do you think that God is using that as a little seed of faith that they planted, potentially, right? Because here's the other thing. I looked up this documentary on the Dogtown Z-Boys, right? You know, the Dogtown Z-Boys from Venice Beach, California. They, like, skateboard and stuff. Like, look it up. There's this dude, Christian Hosoi. he was part of Dogtown. And what's weird is that I know I've said this like 10 times already, but I'm just because we drew this card. This is what's ridiculous. I drew this card. Now I'm thinking about all these things, right? So it's like what happened with Christian Asoy, right? Is he grew up wearing crosses and he actually didn't even believe because he said that it was because of his name, Christ, Christian, Christian, stuff like that. So he would just be wearing crosses and stuff, right? But he actually didn't believe. He just wore them, right? And then what ended up happening is when he went to prison for 3 years or something like that. And then he got really into God. He found, he got really into the Bible and started like full on studying. He ended up becoming a pastor. And what was strange is he said like while he was in jail or something. Now I'm butchering what he said, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm messing it up kind of. But he said something like while he was in jail, because he had like magazines printed or something like that, right? And he would like look at the magazines with him like doing these crazy tricks, right? And he was wearing a cross. And while he was in jail, he was like, wow, it's like maybe that was like God calling me even back then, or like God was with me even back then, when something like that, right? And it just makes me always wonder, and so to me personally, when I see people that wear crosses, even if they don't even believe, I don't even try and really judge it that much, because sometimes I wonder, well, maybe that might plant a seed in their life, and you never know. What happens if they something happened like with Christian Asoy, and something bad happens, and because they wore a cross, maybe that was a little seed of faith, and it got them somehow grafted or wanting to get grafted and look deeper into God's word, right? So that's what kind of changed my thoughts on all that kind of stuff. So, hologram. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. Oh, interesting. What's the future? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Frontier guide. Man, that artwork's gnarly. Man, that artwork is crazy, huh? Wayne Reynolds put a lot of work in that one. A lot of work. Like, look at all the leaves, dude. Like, you could not paint that in a day. If someone could paint that in, oh my goodness, bro. Like, I think that at least take 3 days at the fastest amount. 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a month. And then, ooh, Master Transmuter. Master Transmuter. I like this card. I like the flavored text on this card. Wasted potential surrounds us. Lend me that bauble and let me see what it could be made to be. Okay, last card. Ooh, Curse Break. Interesting. Curse Break. Man, this is a good card to end it on, huh? Curse Break. Sometimes it reminds me of just all the negative words that people have. Literally, curses. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes people can be cursed and you don't even know it. So be warned. Sometimes our words that we use can curse us. Sometimes our own internal monologue with the words that we use can become curses upon your life. It can send you spiraling down some very negative routes. But take that with a grain of salt. You can look up more lore into it if you want. James talks about it. That's the funny thing, because we went into our tongue and stuff like that. He actually goes into a bit about curses and stuff like that. So intriguing. I'm a little tired today. I'm actually surprised I even got that done. We're a little tired today, but it's okay. It's okay. We can try. We can keep going. Let's keep going. Let's chug this coffee. And start writing. Oh man, dude, these Bible studies are gnarly, dude. Oh my goodness. How crazy it would be if just every believer just started doing Bible studies like this. Even just a little one. Even just sharing a verse. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see, what are we going to try and land today? We did the combo yesterday. By the way, we did land a combo yesterday. We landed one fire hydrant combo, which I was super stoked on. I think actually what I might also attempt today is getting the double boomerang, or the boomerang and a half down, maybe. Let's put some music on. I'm wondering how fatigued I am because I didn't really get the greatest of sleep, but it's okay. Let's see how much charge. Suba, Viva. Oh, 5%. Okay. Oh, what is this? Is this on copyright? It's not on copyright. We found a new copyright-free album. Crazy. New copyright-free album right here. This might not be as good as I think, but Eepa. Oops, this one's gonna get all messed up. Oops. Sorry about that. Come on. Put this right here. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Welcome, travelers. We're gonna get into the bike riding segment of the stream. We just finished the Bible study. What are we gonna land today? Oh yeah, let's start it off. I'd like to say this is kind of somehow seeking first the kingdom of God. There's two flatlanders, two gnarly flatlanders. And they both did this trick. And that's why I learned this trick. There's a stick behind her, so let's see what we can do. Oh, fudge. This is a weird album. I thought this was gonna be like drum and bass. This is like background club music or something. Oh no, darn it. Fudge. Well, we gave some attempts. Trick's just hard to land all the time. It's not too hard getting into it, it's just hard to land. Do you do multi-fire hydrant? You know, actually, I saw someone do a fire hydrant today, or it was yesterday. What they did, actually, I might try and learn it. So they did the fire hydrant like this, fire hydrant, and then they went into a squeaker, and then they did another fire hydrant, squeaker, another fire hydrant, right? I'm wondering if that's easier. I think it has to be easier, right? Instead of just doing. Those are just looking way cooler, huh? Ah. Yep. You guys know how to do funky chicken tail whip? Who knows how to do a funky chicken tail whip? Who can teach me? Almost fell. We just landed a triple though. I haven't landed a triple fire in a while. Kind of a clean one. Yeah, I don't know if I can listen to this soundtrack. It's too weird. Let's go back to this one. I apologize, whoever made that. I thought it was going to be a drum and bass thing. It's kind of more of like a club, like background club music. That's what it sounded like. Background club music. I like the drum and bass though. Darn it. Dude, my hang fires have been off. It's like, I'm gonna forget how to do this trick. Ah! Food. Oh, yeah, let's see here. This. What can we do from this? Let's turn that good like this. Squeaker. Maybe try the squeaker over here, huh? was I trying to... Oh yeah, we were trying to fucking chicken toe up. Funky chicken toe whip. Let me try some steamroller or some turbine steamrollers. Dude, how do they do that? How do you do a bar spin? How do you do a bar spin steamroller? There's so many tricks without any how-tos. It's so weird. Those ones look cool though. When people do the bar spin steamrollers, those things are gnarly. It's weird because it's like a switch bar for me. Ah, it's hard. It doesn't seem hard, but it is hard. Not balancing it. Balancing it, it's easy. It's even getting into it's hard. I just put my foot down. I kind of want to land like it. I haven't gotten a good one today. I haven't even gotten into it really. Ah. Alright, where are we going to land? Or where are we going to try and land? Oh, you know, there's that new line. Bar back, endo, bar spin, half cab. Let's do that one. Or actually, let's do that bar. Let's do the bar X up. So pull up bar, X up, running Nyquist bar, endo, gyrator, bar to briefcase bar spin. Probably the most bar spin we'll ever do in a trick in a line. I haven't landed this one. I've actually been after this one for a while. Oh, this one's it right there. Darn. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, dude, that was almost it. I almost landed the ending of it. I always like keep doing one more bar. Oh, are you kidding me, dude? See, it's either I like do it too much or I do it too little. That one it's like weird to like gauge how much you have to bar out of the X-up. Oh. I didn't land it smooth. That was close. I don't know, would I take that? Let's see. That was really sketchy. I'm not gonna take it. I mean, I guess I'll stream mark it, but just in case I don't land anything else today. It's like something I landed today. Because I want to I did like that one I actually went around with the X-up. That was just weird. Wait, how do I get to my stream manager? Okay, go over here. Stream manager. Add stream marker. Whoop. I don't like drum and bass. Drum and bass is just like, I feel like anybody can just get into drum and bass, right? It's like, I like because you don't have to really think, you just listen to it. Ah. Oh, we could try the boomerang. Boomerang and a half to Figgy fork glide, half hydrant decade. I did one yesterday. I should be able to maybe do it again. Ah. These tricks, like, why can't I do it one time? I can't do it again. Oh, darn. We almost got it. That would have been a gnarly combo. That would have been a gnarly combo, man. Oh well. We at least landed that first part, huh? I haven't landed a turn down stick beat in like months. That was like on the brim, bro. I was like a millimeter off and not landing that stick beat. Like it was just so sketchy. Like, I can't even, dude, that trick's weird. That was so close, bro. I almost landed that. I literally almost landed the bar, half bar, briefcase bar spin out of the tail whip. Dude, I don't even think I can land that normally. On like from a tail whip. I've landed that trick before, just not in a tail whip before. Oh my god. I almost flipped over. Oh, come on. Berry. Berry. Bro, I can't skip to that. Oh, darn. That was close. Oh my goodness, that was so close. How do people just hold that trick, man? How do you guys do that? It's like they just hold it. I can't, I'm like doing little hot potato ones. I go like this. I'm just like, they're like this. I'm like, how do you guys do that, dude? That's a freaking hard trick. I almost cursed. That one's fun, but it's frustrating. Cause like, so I can never land it. It's like that trick is very inconsistent for me. I can only land maybe like 1 out of like 20 out of those things. Oh yeah, we could try to learn the hitchhiker. The hitchhiker's hard, man. I give credit to anybody that's learned this trick. This trick is freak hard. So many flatlanders do it. What do they do? I don't know how do you drop it down? I don't even know how they do it. That's how they do it. Huh. It's gonna take me a long time. Oh, I've never done a one-hander before. Dude, that was cool. Dude, you know what? I should want the time machine. How do you do the time machine? Let's see here. I know they do it somehow like this, right? Oh yeah, that's what they do. Okay. Maybe we should learn the time machine. I actually think it might be doable. Ah, that's hard. Actually, I don't know if I can do that. Like the bike like keeps like flying out underneath me. Switch foot. Double foot Jared. Oh, that was almost it. That was so close. Those are fun. That was so close. What if I did it? What if I just kept switching my feet? That'd be funny, huh? Darn. Let's do wall fakie, gyrator, fakie wall to fakie gyrator. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see how many walls we can do into a gyrator. That'd be so funny. Oh, let's actually do the wall no-hander to fakie gyrator. Oh, dude, let's do that. Wall no-hander, fakie gyrator to fakie wall no-hander. Haven't done this actually in a long time. No, darn it. Darn. And it's like you can't really see me doing the no-hander kind of. I wonder if I could like move that. Move it over there. I guess I could maybe just put it right there, right? Oh, those are fun. They're so frustrating, but they're fun. They probably don't seem very fun because I never land them, but they are fun. I got 2 clips today. I'm pretty stoked. That's generally my normal thing. I normally get 2 clips a day, I've been noticing. Oh yeah, let's do funky chicken tail up. Let's grind for this trick. Funky chicken tail. I almost did one yesterday. Kinda. It was actually my best attempt was yesterday. I did a pop though. This trick feels impossible though. Whoever came up with this trick, you guys are crazy, dude. Funky chicken tail whip, dude. Whoever was like, I'm gonna do a tail whip in a funky chicken. It's like I can't even like do a funky chicken very good. Like I feel like I'm trying to crawl and straight up doing endurance running. goodness, come on. All right, just walk into it. Oh my god, that was almost it. Maybe I have to do that like 1,000 times. That's what I need to do right there. Maybe I should just walk into it like that. That's freaking hard, dude. You gotta like actually kind of muscle it around. The balance point's really weird. Like I wonder if they do a little scuff. Like it seems like they just stop. They just stop and then do it and then get back into the scuff, right? I wonder like, it just seems really hard. Yeah, this is how they get good. I think this is how they learned it. They just sat here and just did this thousands of times, I bet.
You gotta hurt yourself doing that.
I almost tripped on that one. Dude, that is a hard trick. Like you really got to get like that balance point down. Dude, that feels impossible. How do you guys do that trick, man? Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but bro, that trick feels gnarly to do. Let's give him an attempt. All right, here. This is actually a real attempt. And now I'm probably not going to even get close to it. How do you even throw a whip in that, dude? You gotta like stop. You gotta like stall it out. That one's a very long puzzle to figure out. I think that one's going to be like 6 months to learn or something. Maybe not 6 months, maybe like 3 months if you really tried. I think maybe you can learn in like 2 or 3 months. Let's see here. Just have some fun. Let's do a hand crank flip. Let's do a hand crank flip. crank flip, hand crank flip. Those are fun. We're just having fun now. We're just having fun. Let's see how many. I want to see if there's like an infinity hand crank flip. Imagine seeing that. Infinity hand crank flip line. Whoop. Oh, dude. I figured out a new line. Oh my goodness. This is why I love bikes. Alright, we're doing hand crank flip. Hand crank flip, fakie, gyrator, fakie to hand crank flip. Bro, I've never seen that before. That's funny. Funny bunny. Funny bun bun. Alright. I wonder if it's even doable. No, darn. It's doable. You just gotta time it all right. You gotta like wait for your cranks to stop at the right time. Okay, so when I go fakie, I gotta like wait until my cranks are right there. Boop. Mission engaged. That's funny. Do. That's a good soundtrack, huh? Let's listen to it again. We're starting from square zero. Okay, so hand crank flip, fakie gyrator. We might as well do a briefcase on it too, huh? Darn, that was so good. Oh, that was so good. I thought that one was going to be the one. I guess not. Oh, darn. That's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky like going fakie with enough force. Sketchy. Whoa. Oh, darn it. It's hard to go from fakie. I don't know if I should do the briefcase because like I feel like sometimes when I do the briefcase bar spin, it messes up my arc. And I need to get on that specific arc to go fakie again. Right here. No, darn it. Dang, that's actually kind of hard. Huh. It's like I haven't even gotten to the last part. Okay, so Drop down. Hit the brakes right here. Boom. Land it. All right, I think we're giving up on that line. I thought it was going to happen, but I don't think it actually is. We gave it an attempt, okay? I thought that one was actually going to be way easy, but it's actually kind of tricky. I guess we'll just add that into the pile. We'll add that into a pile of things that we need to do. We need to land. Do a windshield wiper. I'm wondering what combos we could do from this one. Oh, what about windshield wiper and stick bead? Is that doable? Windshield wiper to stick bead. What about, oh dude, I wish I could do elbow glides in here. What about elbow glide in here? Elbow glide. Oh, dude. I forgot about a combo. Dude, check this combo out. Right. Oh. So we drop that down. Boom. We got fakie. Fakie no-hander. Boom. Oh, I'm tired. We're tired. Honestly, can't believe I even landed anything today. I was like fatigued. I like barely got any sleep last night. So now I landed some stuff. It's cool. Baba Beat Maker. I think we might end the stream here. I'm tired, everybody. Normally I would ride for maybe like 30 more minutes or like 40 more minutes, but I'm kind of tired today. We tried our best. That's what matters, right? I don't even remember what I landed today. I landed something that I haven't landed before, so. What did we land today? Oh yeah, some stick bee line. Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. It was the turn down stick bee. Turn down stick bee multi-bar, triple no-hander. Which I don't think I've actually done that combo before, in particular. Anyway. Okay, everybody. Maybe I'll play some wire or something and do a drawing stream. Okay, everybody. Well, remember we try our best and hopefully motivate other people. And oh yeah, there's actually that one. Let's leave it with a Bible verse. Let's leave the stream with a Bible verse. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I actually want to read Psalms 2. I haven't read Psalms 2 in a long time, huh? Why do the nations rage and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us burst their bonds apart and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord holds them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury, saying, As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of my decree. The Lord said to me, You are my son, today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore, O kings, be wise, be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are they who take refuge in him. Man, that psalm is gnarly, dude. Holy Toledo. It's a gnarly psalm. And those psalms too. Probably not for the most faint of heart. Alright, we out of here. Short stream today. We got some stuff done. Farewell, everybody. Maybe we'll do a WoW stream. See ya.